All right, let's talk tech acronyms. You ever feel like you're just drowning in them? IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, they're everywhere. Well, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to cut right through all that jargon and figure out what these things actually mean.
So yeah, you've seen them everywhere, right? IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. They sound super complicated, but here's the secret. They're really just different ways to use the cloud. But what's the real difference between them? And, the big question is, which one do you actually need? Let's break it all down.
Okay, but first things first. Before we dive in, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What is the cloud anyway? Honestly, it's pretty simple. Cloud computing just means you're using services like servers, storage, even software over the internet. Instead of having a big, clunky server in your office or all your software installed on your own machine, you're basically just using someone else's computer. The big win? You don't have to buy or maintain any of that hardware yourself. Now, to really get the difference between these cloud services, we could talk about servers and networking, but honestly, that's kind of boring. So instead, we're going to talk about pizza. Yep, pizza. Just stick with me here. I promise this is going to make everything click.
See, when you want a pizza, you've basically got a few ways to get it. And every single choice you make is a trade-off between how easy you want it to be and how much control you want to have. Sound familiar? That's exactly like our cloud services.
You've got three main choices, right? You can get it delivered, hot and ready to eat. You can grab a take-and-bake pizza that you cook at home, or you can make the whole thing from scratch. These three options, that's it. That's the key to understanding all of this.
So let's start with the one you probably use every single day, maybe without even realizing it. We're talking about SaaS, which stands for Software as a Service.
The best way to think about SaaS is just ready-to-use software. Some company hosts an application in the cloud and you just access it online. That's it. There's nothing to install, nothing for you to manage. You just log in and start using it.
In our pizza world, this is the delivered pizza. It shows up at your door, it's hot, it's ready to go. You didn't have to think about the dough or the sauce or the oven temperature. You just get to eat it. That is exactly what SaaS is. The provider handles absolutely everything behind the scenes.
And there's a reason this model is so incredibly popular. I mean, think about it. You don't have to worry about installations. You don't have to deal with those annoying updates. The provider does it all for you. For a business, this is huge. No big upfront hardware costs, and your team can get to stuff like Google Drive or Office 365 from pretty much anywhere. It's all about convenience, and you usually just pay a simple subscription fee for it. All right, so that's the delivered pizza. Let's move on to our next option. We're going to go one layer deeper now with PaaS, or Platform as a Service.
Now with PaaS, you're not just using somebody else's software anymore. Instead, you're getting a whole environment, like a digital workshop, where you can build, test, and launch your own applications. And the best part? You don't have to worry about managing all the complex stuff running underneath.
So what's this in our pizza analogy? This is your take-and-bake pizza. The pizza shop did all the hard prep work, right? They made the dough, they put on the sauce, the cheese, the toppings. It's all ready for you. Your job is just to take it home and pop it in your own oven. So you get to control the final baking, but you didn't have to make the pizza itself.
For developers, this is an absolute game changer. They get to focus on what they do best, writing code and building cool new apps. All those back-end headaches, managing servers, updating operating systems, dealing with security patches, all of that is handled by the provider. That's why platforms like Microsoft Azure or Google App Engine are just so powerful for getting new ideas out there fast. Okay, and that brings us to our last option, the most fundamental layer of them all, IaaS. That's Infrastructure as a Service. And this is where you get the most control.
With IaaS, what you're doing is basically renting the raw building blocks of computing from a provider. We're talking about access to their servers, their storage, their networking gear, all the fundamental stuff. And you guessed it, this is making your pizza completely from scratch. You go to the store, you buy the flour, the yeast, the tomatoes, whatever cheese you want. It's your kitchen, your oven. You have complete and total control over every single part of it, from how thick the crust is to what toppings you put on.
The huge advantage here is that control and flexibility. You can build literally whatever you want, exactly how you want to build it. And what if you suddenly get a massive spike in traffic? No problem, it's instantly scalable. But maybe the best part of all is that you only pay for the resources you actually use, and you never have to buy or maintain a single piece of physical equipment.
So there you have it, our three types of pizza: delivered, take and bake, and from scratch. Now let's put SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS right next to each other, so we can see exactly who is managing what.
This table really brings it all home, doesn't it? You can clearly see the big trade-off. As you go down the list from SaaS to IaaS, you get more and more control. But, and this is the key, that control comes with more responsibility. SaaS is all about convenience. It's perfect for end users who just want something that works. At the other end, IaaS gives you all the power, which is exactly what system admins need when they're building something completely custom from the ground up.
So, at the end of the day, it really just comes down to this simple question. Which pizza do you need? Do you just want to eat no questions asked? That's SaaS. Do you want to add your own finishing touches, but you don't want to make the dough from scratch? Well, that's PaaS. Or, do you want total control to create your own culinary masterpiece? Then what you're looking for is IaaS.
The big takeaway here is that the cloud isn't just one thing. It's really more like a giant kitchen with a full menu. You can order a fully prepared meal, or you can just ask for the raw ingredients. The most important thing is knowing what you want to create, because now you know exactly how to order.